The following is a Joel Michalec production. On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence. That request came from his wife. She asked him to leave because he wouldn't listen to the Joel Michalec Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Joel Michalec Show featuring lovely Sharen. I am Joel Michalec, and across the booth from me...
I am the lovely Sharen.
The lovely... Did I say the lovely Sharen?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And then
better.
Well, because I was wondering, but I guess it just flows right out, because when you said that, I was like, oh my God, did I say that?
Yes, you said it.
But anyway, welcome to the podcast show number 157. If you're keeping track in your Joel Michalec Show featuring lovely Sharen steno book.
Wow, we should put one of them out. A steno book for all our fans.
A steno book. We're good. We only need like 2 or 3 steno books.
Right.
But anyway, welcome to the program. It's good to be back. We had to take last week off due to COVID hitting.
No, we didn't.
We didn't take last week off?
No.
Where was I at then?
Wait. We took last week
We
off?
took last week off. There was the networks carried a different program on our behalf. Wow.
Lordy.
So anyway, it's good to be back in the saddle, in the seat. If you want to listen to the show, if you want to listen to the program, what you're doing right now, I'm all tongue-tied. I'm trying to get the business of the show out of the way.
I see.
You can find us online at www.jmtalk.net. I know 2 weeks ago we told you don't use that link, but you can use that link. Again. Also, find us out there on social media, TikTok and Facebook at JM Talk, Instagram and Twitter, JM Talk Radio. And also send us an email if you'd like at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. So there is the official business of the program.
There it is.
Thanks for joining us. This week we have to talk about
a couple things, actually, right?
Well, I want to talk about the Gabby Petito thing.
Okay.
I know that just lights you up like a candle, doesn't it?
Right, but there's a reason we want to talk about it today.
So we recently watched the Peacock original documentary about the Gabby Petito debacle.
Yes.
And obviously, of course, as far as...
I knew everything in the docuseries.
And for me, I really never, I knew that it was this all the rage on the internet.
Yeah.
I knew it was all the rage to you. Of course, you're always into that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I really didn't know a lot of information I knew very little about the case itself. So watching the documentary, I have one real big problem with this. And in fact, it's really calmed down some. You don't really hear much about it.
Right, exactly.
And the one thing that really continues to bother me after watching that is Brian Laundrie shows up without Gabby.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And
the parents don't say.
Nobody says nothing.
Yeah.
And now Brian Laundrie presumed to have committed suicide.
Yes.
And is dead. Presumed. We'll say presumed.
Because
but even
there's
now,
a lot of us out there that don't believe he's dead.
So whether he is or he isn't.
Right.
So even if he is, let's say.
If he is, he's a coward.
He came home without his fiancée.
Right.
And nobody, him or his parents, will talk to anybody.
Well,
I, as a parent, and Gabby had 2 sets of loving parents because her parents had split up and they were both remarried. So she had 2 wonderful sets of parents.
Yes.
And I don't know how the fathers, as a father myself, I don't know how the fathers are containing themselves.
Exactly.
Because to this day, somebody in that household knows something and no one's talking to no one.
In the laundry house.
In the laundry house.
Yes.
And I find that scurrilous at best.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why the world was enraged.
Yeah.
Because the Laundries would not talk, supposedly upon the advice of their lawyer.
Well, even like,
but come on now.
During the press conference, when the chief of police for the town where the Laundries live, and Gabby's father is at this press conference,
right?
But the chief of police is like, they're asking questions about, have they talked to the Laundrie? We're not worried about that right now. My focus is to find Gabby. Well, I think if you force someone in that household to talk, and this is when Brian was still presumed alive and hide him,
you would
that's how you find out where she's at.
Exactly.
I mean, I just feel like police work in that case failed.
The Moab police failed astronomically.
A blind, deaf, and dumb man would have a problem with the fact that he just comes home without her and no one says anything.
Yeah, but there's theories out there. His parents knew he was coming home before he arrived.
Right. I know there were some theories about that because of the camping reservations that they had.
Well, no, not only that. They supposedly had these reservations long before this. However, let me tell you, he called them either exactly right after it happened. What do I do? Oh my God, I can't believe I did this. And come on, Mommy and Daddy, tell me what to do. And they more than likely said, oh, son, really? Oh, man. And do you have money to get home? Well, I have Gabby's card. Well, use it.
Yeah, because that was used posthumously,
to get home.
Which is a federal crime.
Yes.
So, I mean, the federal government, by issuing a warrant for his arrest for the crime of using someone else's credit card, was more law enforcement work put forth than the Moab Police Department, who should have been, and they were in that house. How do your officers come out of that house and not have any information or answer? I'm sorry. As a father, I would have kicked that door down in the middle of the night, and I would have beaten it out of somebody.
You know what's funny?
And I'm not promoting violence.
You know what's funny? Not a ha-ha funny, but it's funny to me that just now, after seeing that, you're getting pissed off.
I'm enraged for the fathers, for the parents in general. But how did two fathers keep themselves calm?
Exactly. So, but what I'm saying
when those parents know something.
What I'm saying is, I'm quite certain there's more people out there than just you that didn't really pay attention to the case until they saw that on Peacock, okay? I guarantee you. Now, ethically, let's talk ethically about the Laundries. They are deplorable, unethical, ignorant. Oh my God, I was just going to curse. I am so...
Thank you for not.
angry, right.
We might be able to get away without an E on this show.
What? But no, the parents, the Laundrie parents, need to be held accountable.
Oh, you're right.
And they won't be. You know why?
I don't see how they don't.
Both partners, both people in this case are gone. There's no more investigating. There's no more, who done it? What's going on? Oh, this is such a tragedy, which God knows it's a tragedy, okay? But nothing will happen to the parents because the police don't care enough to find out what they knew.
Yeah, I'm of everything about this story.
Yeah.
From A to Z.
Yep.
I am severely hung up on the Laundrie parents.
Yeah.
Not saying anything. I'm really hung up on that, and I don't know why.
Yeah, because
I'm really hung up on it.
The world was hung up on that.
Well,
that's why people protested outside the Laundrie house during the whole investigation.
I know.
So, yeah, that's why everybody was just like, hey, you're stupid, And how could you be even considered parents?
And how does Gabby's parents and step-parents even get closure?
They don't.
They
don't. And
okay,
what if the tables were reversed? God forbid, and something happened to Brian first.
Right,
okay?
and Gabby showed up.
And Gabby showed up in her van without him. Oh my God, where's my son? I don't know. I ain't talking to you.
Right.
I ain't talking to you.
Well,
who the hell are you?
All I'm saying,
I gotta talk to you.
All I'm saying is, I think we can all comfortably say that Brian's parents know what happened or know something, right?
Do. Come
okay.
on.
All right. So we agree on that.
Yes.
Okay. Then can we also agree that there's a great police trick called the rubber hose? I'm just saying, like,
but their attorney will not see. Their attorney has been given more power than an attorney deserves in this case.
Well, they're the kind of attorneys that I think we all know how I feel about attorneys that defend the guilty.
Well, no.
I mean, I understand you have to defend people, but
it's not defending, okay, the guilty that I have the issue with. The issue I have with the attorney is he's the one, apparently, that told the parents, don't say a word. You don't have to. What kind of deplorable person are you? You're the one that gives attorneys bad names and bad reputations. Come on. People like you.
I have to believe that there's investigative tactics, though, that could have been used to get around that.
Yeah, no.
You go to a judge and say, well, he shows up at home, nobody's talking, so that's weird. That is the weirdest of the weird. He shows up alone and says, so are we supposed to believe he doesn't know what happened, so they don't know what happened, but nobody's talking at all?
Right.
Come on.
Exactly.
You go to a judge with that and they'll be like, yeah, I'll give you a warrant for whatever you want.
Yeah, but they wouldn't. They wouldn't give a warrant.
Something's so wrong with that.
As a person of interest, all they said was he was a person of interest in the murder of Gabby Petito. Person of interest. That's it. Now, it was also rumored at the time, before Brian was found, it was also rumored that they were only saying that he was a person of interest so he would turn himself in. And that's a tactic, a well-known tactic that police will use. Look, we just want to talk to you.
Yeah, I just don't think they went out of their way enough to...
Oh, no, but my point is...
To give everything to this investigation.
But my point is, the police have done this on more than one occasion. Said, listen, we're not really... We don't think you did it, because we just want to find out what you know about the person who did do it. Yeah,
well...
Come on.
I mean, I hope to see more in the way of somehow justice for Gabby, really, because at this point, I really don't give a holy hell about Brian Laundrie or the parents. No. You don't show up without your fiance.
Exactly.
And say nothing to nobody. It's just it's wrong. And I know I seem enraged, but folks, please keep in mind, we watch this kind of stuff to calm down.
Oh my God, it's so true.
Right?
That is very true.
Because right after that, we turned on a 6-part documentary about John Wayne Gacy. And we're so at peace watching this stuff.
I know, it's relaxing. It really is. It's like, oh my God, how can you do that?
But I'll tell everybody something that actually I think deep down probably bothers the lovely Sharen. But she knows I'm fascinated with serial killers.
Yeah.
Like you remember there was a time I was
doesn't bother me.
I was reading all those
mine.
books about serial killers, especially the Iceman, but then I turned you on to the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski.
Yeah.
But I was reading all these books like from the library, taking them out like 3, 4, 5 at a time about serial killers, and she's like, "Should I be worried about anything?"
I know, right?
They just fascinate me.
Are you getting advice, tips?
No, they just
on what to do.
They just fascinate me, especially their methods of evasion, like Richard Kuklinski getting away with it for 20 some years.
Oh, sure.
John Wayne Gacy getting away with it for all those years, and probably more.
Ted Bundy, even a bigger case where he got away with it a whole lot longer.
Yeah, and they think that Gacy had more issues because, like they said in the documentary, nobody goes to all these different states on business trips and whatnot,
right?
And doesn't do what he's doing here when he's there.
Oh, I know.
There's absolutely no way.
Absolutely, agreed.
And then I was getting upset at the end of that because that retired Chicago detective who believes that there's more Gacy victims in that yard.
Yeah.
At Elston and Miami, and I'm like, somebody
will do anything about it.
I was like, get on the phone to Katie. Let's get people over there with shovels and dig that property up. Because our daughter lives in Chicago, and I was going to call her up and say, get over there, get some of your friends together, and start digging.
Right.
I just, so yes.
So what we need to do is buy that property. That's what we need.
Oh, really? Is that?
We need to buy that property so that we can do all the digging we want.
So when you mentioned the downfalls of the police department in Moab.
Yes.
In the Petito case. So
you know what I'm referring to, correct?
Yeah, I watched the documentary.
I know,
but what I was going to draw a comparison to the apparent downfalls in Chicago, because between the Cook County Sheriff's Office and the Chicago Police, one of the main reasons they don't want to really dig up that entire property is they want it to
end.
Yeah, they don't want that case opening up because he's been put to death for those crimes. Yeah, and what
about the victims and their families?
I feel the same way. I'm just saying. I'm drawing a comparison. It is a failure by the Sheriff's Department and the Chicago Police Department to not want to further that, to bring closure again to parents who are suffering.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very much agreed at this point.
But so that's what we do for fun. That's how we calm down. That's how we release stress.
If you people out there think that we don't sit while we're watching these and have this exact conversation.
Oh, yeah.
We've had this conversation so many times, it's almost scripted.
And I knew it was going to be a great segment for the show.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm so enraged about those parents as a parent.
I know. Yeah, it's ridiculous what they've gotten away with.
Yeah.
What their attorney should be arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. As part of, I would just like to see some sweeping justice on that whole thing, and I think that involves more than just the parents.
Absolutely.
I think that would include anyone, including if anyone at the police department is helping them cover something up.
Oh,
all of them.
Most,
because I'm tired of the thought process.
When Mustang was brought back, they thought it was Brian.
Yeah.
Clearly, it couldn't have been Brian.
Yeah. So what you're saying is there's a potential that you have such an inept police force.
Yes.
Doesn't look good on you, Chief.
Yeah, and they had cameras all over their yard and all over their backyard. I don't know if you saw that part, but they did. They had cameras everywhere in the backyard. The police did.
Oh.
Doing a surveillance on their property.
Well,
they had cameras in their neighbors' yards, looking in to make sure he didn't roll out one day. Yeah.
So anyway, that be that. When we come back, we have a very, we have a Wombat of the Week this week.
Okay.
That's could be sweet, but it's really not a very sweet story. Anyway, that and more. Plus, later on in the program, I'll talk to you about a Microsoft purchase that will go through probably in April. Another Microsoft monopolizing. That has to do with the gaming community. So my gamers out there, listen up. That's coming up later on in the broadcast. We're coming back right after this. Don't go anywhere. It's the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen.
This is New York's super oldie station, 920 WON, The Apple, Brooklyn, New York.
So I use my computer every day. I'm not even sure how I get along without it. But I wasn't prepared for a virus. A Trojan, they called it. One night I'm cruising along, and the next night I can't do anything. I was afraid it was going to cost me a fortune. Boy, was I surprised. They had me back up and running the same day I called them. I really like PC Tech Rescue, and you know what? My wallet likes them too.
Are you troubled by computer problems? PC Tech Rescue should be your very next call. Whether the problem is viruses, hardware, software, or any other issue, they can diagnose your problem and have you back up and running fast. With more than 25 years of industry experience, you can be sure you are getting dependable and affordable service. Call today, 484-429-6061, or email us at pctechrescue@gmail.com.
Welcome back. It's the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen, and we're back. If you're keeping track, show number 157, and a couple things to go over in this segment. Great stuff we got to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I have to turn my mic this way for a minute, though. Let me tell you about this first thing.
I was going to say first what?
So, a body positivity website called morelove.org has created free Don't Weigh Me cards for you to use when you go to the doctors.
Really?
Absolutely.
We always have that right to not get weighed. You know that.
I didn't. This doesn't bother me like some people.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Again,
you always have the right when they.
This is one of those things that always comes up. In fact, this whole segment might be really society. This is what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
It doesn't bother me if they want to. First of all, I'm diabetic. You know what I mean? And I'm always fat. And I think it's every doctor's job to tell anybody whether they weigh 10 pounds or 1,000 pounds that they're grossly overweight. I firmly believe that that is something they're taught in medical school.
Yes.
Anyway, because patients find stepping on a scale to be very, very stressful when they go to the doctor's office.
For us women, it is.
Okay. All right. If that's the way you want it.
No, it's the way it is. Society has put so much pressure on women to look stick thin and modelish and all that it's traumatizing to get on the scale. It really is. And don't downplay it just because you don't feel the same way.
I'm not downplaying it at all. Why would I downplay such a thing?
Oh, come on. Yeah, okay.
For what, what kind of gain would I be downplaying such a thing?
Okay, well, because men don't understand.
I guess. So anyway, for just the cost of postage, as an individual, you can get these cards. And businesses can get them for 100 cards for $35 to be able to give out to their employees. Wow, an employee benefit. Here you go.
Wow.
Gee, so what else did your company give you besides a raise this year? A Don't Weigh Me card and emotional damage. Anyway, the cards read on the front, "Please don't weigh me unless it's really medically necessary. If you really need my weight, please tell me why so that I can give you my informed consent."
That's right.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I do. You didn't expect that kind of answer from me, did you?
I didn't. The back of the card says, why? Because most health conditions can be addressed without knowing my weight. When you focus on my weight, I get stressed. And that's not healthy, Doc. That's not healthy, doctor. Oh my God.
Okay, so.
Let me calm down.
Okay. Can I interject for a second?
Please do.
Okay, so the reason doctors want to weigh you is not to tell you you're a fat ass.
Okay.
It's because when they prescribe medication, they have to prescribe it for a certain weight category.
For a lot of different things, yeah, and that is one of them. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is the reason why doctors need to know your weight. Not because they just want to sit in the other room and laugh at you.
Right. I see, and that's what I'm saying.
Ignorant enough to do that.
And so yes, I sound like I'm making light of it and obviously using it for the comedic value of the show. I understand that, but I also understand what you're saying, and that is correct. And that's what I think. This is just another one of those things where I think people aren't thinking things through. Let's change this. Let's give the doctor reasons he shouldn't weigh me when in fact he probably knows what he's doing. He or she is doing.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's an important thing. Listen, this is the big pharma world, right? Society is attached to big pharma. Big pharma is making a fortune off of us.
Right.
And so
to elaborate a little bit about the weight and the medication issue, you don't want to give someone enough medication to choke a horse to a 90-pound person.
Right.
When it's in fact needed for someone 300 pounds.
Simple analogy.
Okay.
When my dentist says, when I told him that I don't want you to give me the pain medicine, I'm just taking over the counter ibuprofen.
Right.
How much do you take? Well, I take about 800 milligrams. With your weight, you should be taking 1,000.
Right.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
In other words, that's not going to do anything for you.
So a lot of medication is weight-based.
Even OTC.
Yes.
It's important to know for OTC.
Yes.
It goes on to say on the back, weighing me every time I come in for an appointment and talking about my weight like it's a problem perpetuates weight stigma, a known and serious health risk.
It is.
And finally, I pursue healthy behaviors regardless of my weight status. See health at every size. I got news for you. If I gave this card to my doctor, that last point on the back is a bold-faced lie because that's part of my problem, right? That's part of my problem is, I'm eating better, but I don't eat perfectly.
Well, nobody does.
And who does?
Doctors don't.
Who does? And who should? Because if you ate perfectly right 24/7, you would be miserable. But that's a bold-faced lie. I could not give someone a card that has that statement on there.
According to you, that's a bold-faced lie. Yes. If you were to hand that out. But if I were to hand that out, I don't think it's a lie. Am I a perfect eater? Hell no. Not by any stretch of the means.
Right.
But,
So according to their website says, because we live in a fat-phobic society, I didn't even know that was a word, being weighed and talking about weight causes feelings of stress and shame. Many people feel anxiety about seeing the doctor and will avoid going to the doctor in order to avoid the scale.
that's true.
I guess, because this just shows that there is some percentage of the population that feel that way. Me, I embrace the scale at least once a week to see how I'm doing.
Right.
So
you're a man.
I'm a man. Yeah.
Hey, no, stop.
I'm a man.
I don't stop. No, stop it. I already told you why it is different for a woman. Men don't care about their weight.
But this doesn't say only women get these cards. Now we just got a knee on the show.
Oh, thanks. Well, I'm about to curse. Come on. You're making me mad.
You're not about to. You just did.
Oh, I said what? The S word? Oh.
So
they say worse than that on live TV.
So I guess this is directed towards women because it doesn't say that. And maybe some non-binaries? Possibly?
Maybe, whatever. Whatever floats your boat, but that is not directed towards men.
Wow.
Definitely not directed towards men.
I guess, because I'm not fat-phobic.
You want me to do a study on this? Oh, I will.
Do you have time?
I do.
Because you haven't finished trimming out your X's and O's.
Yeah, I have, and all I got to do is the center. And look, now you got me like, all right, now I got to poke through.
So, anyway, yeah, so you can get these cards, so you can, I guess, politely, this makes the doc. Do you think this makes doctors feel better?
I'm quite certain doctors will give you a reason why you have to get weight.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because, it won't hold any weight I don't think it'll hold any weight with doctors. With most doctors these days. However, it also empowers the women that are carrying it. Because it gives them the option. Even though when you go to the doctors, you always have the option to not get weighed. You can say to a doctor, I'm sorry, I don't want to get weighed. And he can't force you. So I'm just saying, for anybody out
I actually never knew that. Not that it matters to me, but I never knew that.
I used to work in the hospital. In the hospital, that's different. You have to get weighed.
Why? What if I shell out a card? Ask you not to weigh me.
They can have get your weight on the bed. There's a scale on each bed. So they can get your weight without...
Sounds like a missed opportunity at the local doctor's office then, that they don't get one, because everyone's told to sit up on that exam bench.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
They can get your weight off of that if they...
Well, yeah, but most doctors... A family doctor is not going to be able to afford that. Because all his money's going to his Lamborghini.
Okay, anyway, so there you have it.
There you have it.
If you're interested, morelove.org. Anyway, let's just talk about the Wombat of the Week before I get in any more trouble today on my show.
It's my show, too.
If you want to get involved in the Wombat of the Week, simply send us an email with a link to a verifiable news story of stupid people doing stupid things, and send it to us at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. You can also send it as a DM to Facebook at JM Talk. Stop looking at me like that.
Like what?
Like that. Anyway, so this week's Wombat is Mars Candy.
That's why you said that.
Let's talk about Mars Candy. And as long as it doesn't offend you. It's not going to offend you or change the way you eat M&Ms, right? What?
This is me not laughing, people.
Okay, so M&M characters are getting a new look to be inclusive. Okay, so let me say that again. M&M's, the characters that mean nothing, they just sell the product on TV, are getting a new look so they're more inclusive. So they can feel better about themselves and we can feel better about them when we're watching them or deciding to buy that product. The brand just announced its multi-pronged approach to creating a world where everyone feels they belong and society is inclusive. And it apparently starts with makeovers for each of the colorful M&M characters that star in the brand's popular commercials. The candy company decided to give each of the 6 characters a fresh modern take on their traditional look and a more nuanced personalities to underscore the importance of self-expression and power of the community through storytelling. These are candies.
God.
You understand? Everybody?
Right? They're not real.
They're candies.
They are not real, people.
So, blink or you're going to miss the design changes. They're so subtle.
I know. I don't see any changes.
Yeah, well, you can see the picture here, and they say it's more like a can you spot the difference kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so the biggest, perhaps most controversial, is that the green M&M, who typically sports her signature white go-go boots, has stepped into a pair of cool, laid-back sneakers to reflect her effortless confidence.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know that this green piece of candy had that problem, but anyway.
Apparently she does.
Brown, the other female character, has also slipped into something a little more comfy, block heels instead of her signature stilettos. She and the green M&M will also have a more friendly relationship than they've previously had, together throwing shine and not shade.
Wow.
Excuse my cough, folks. I cannot even help it.
Come on, people. At Mars.
Wow. So, people have taken to Twitter with some comedic and sarcastic comments about this move. One person on TikTok says, today on Fresh Air, the green M&M, newly liberated from her white boots, lets loose. She talks social reproduction theory, how patriarchy and capitalism violently reinforce each other, and what a sexy lady M&M says about gender as a construct. Stay with us for more.
Wow. Come on. This is ridiculous.
Yes. Also of note, the orange M&M has officially acknowledged his anxiety and learned to embrace his true self, worries, and all.
Wow.
I didn't know the orange was having problem. Maybe the orange M&Ms.
Realize.
Maybe. I mean, should I avoid the orange M&Ms now when I'm clearing through a pack?
Because they may cause you to have anxiety.
I'm having anxiety just thinking of this.
Right?
And my favorite tweet, though, is from a Twitter user who said, in an effort to make them more relatable and inclusive, the Mars Candy Corporation has confirmed that M&M's crunchy shell is their skin and that when you bite into them, they feel immense pain.
Oh, my God.
That's a sarcastic tweet.
Oh, my God.
I have, since this story came out, I have looked high and low for anybody who is speaking positively about this. And I have found nobody. Everything is sarcasm and...
I know, right? Because it's ridiculous. That's what it is. They are cartoon characters. They're not real.
Right.
Wow.
But, this is...
That's like saying the Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man is real.
He's not?
No, he's not. Wow. Oh my God. This week is enraging me.
This is just another action in a long line lately of foods having to be changed because, people or
because of the cancel culture.
And of course, with the cancellation of Uncle Ben on the rice and Aunt Jemima on the syrup, I've still yet to find somebody that thought they were good ideas. So I have to wonder how small the percentage of people are who actually think that this is important.
Exactly.
But anyway. So Mars Candies, yes, is the Wombat of the Week this week because this makes no sense to me at all.
None.
And
I'm all for being inclusive. Don't get me wrong. Okay?
Right.
It is, hey, I personally believe whatever you think you are, that's what you are. But, but to have a major company like Mars force it upon the entire population, and I'm talking because they're global. I'm talking the entire population.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the end game is, but I can guarantee you this:
what?
I'm not going to feel any differently when I'm scarfing down M&Ms. I'm not going to be thinking of anything because I'm sorry. This is terrible. I had this cough. They said it's going to last forever. I didn't think of any of this stuff before when I ate M&Ms, and so I'm not going to think of any of this stuff when I eat M&Ms in the future. So I don't understand.
You're definitely not going to hear "ow, ow."
Yeah, and when I'm eating the green ones, I'm sure I'm not going to hear, "What do you think of my new shoes?" True. It means nothing to me. Great move, morons. Anyway, that's your Wombat of the Week, and that brings us to the point of the show where, and I'm sure you're happy about this.
The way this show's going.
Time for you to say goodbye, Sharen.
Goodbye, Sharen.
Get out, Sharen.
Get out, Sharen.
Anyway, coming up, I got to talk Microsoft, mergers, and gaming, and that's coming up after this. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this briefness.
Hi, this is Tara. You're listening to my puppy, so don't go anywhere. He'll be right back.
I want to get back to kissing the cheeks of my grandbabies, making Sunday dinner with a house full of family and lots of laughs.
COVID-19 has changed how we live and how we feel. But now, there are vaccines. And they are the very first step that let us get back to what we miss most. It's okay to have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I wait? Now, get the facts. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Are you ready for some more Joel Michalec Show?
I'd better not. I have what doctors call a little bit of a weight problem.
I have the irrefutable proof that the earth is not flat. Here it is. If the earth was flat, don't you think cats would be on the edge of it, knocking off? A new episode every Sunday at joelmichalec.com.
Than a memory, but that ain't how it was gonna be. She's much more to me than another pretty face. That little girl was my fantasy. Things ain't what it always seemed to be. You're not kind of love they couldn't see. See the magic, feel the motion. So we just had to let it be. And now city lights are very bright. She's not coming home. Whoa, been around the world. She's not coming home. Well, yeah, city lights are very bright. She's not coming home. Whoa, been around the world. She's not coming home. Coming home. Well, city lights, you know that they can hypnotize. You see, I know what they done to me. But I hope and pray the Lord that he'll send that girl back home. Send that girl back home to me. Things ain't what it always seems to be. And I kind of love we did believe. Hey now, city lights are very bright. She's not coming home. Whoa, been around the world. She's not coming home. Well, yeah, city lights are very bright. She's not coming home. Whoa, been around the world. She's not coming home. She wants to be where the lights are bright, and she's gonna make everything alright. And don't you know that'll just be fine with me? But every day I just hope and pray that that little girl will come back my way, and I'll be given my final fantasy. City lights are very bright. She's not coming home. Whoa, been around the world. She's not coming home. Whoa, city lights are very bright. She's not coming home. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen, part 3 of the podcast this week. And I wanted to move the focus a little bit to my gaming fans out there, and you all know who you are. If you haven't heard this week, and I'm sure you have because this is really interesting news in the gaming community, is that Microsoft has agreed to buy Activision Blizzard for just under $70 million. I'm sorry, $70 billion. $70 billion. And this is a big thing, which I want to get into a little bit. First of all, Activision Blizzard, who obviously, you know, makes Call of Duty as well as Candy Crush. And Microsoft is buying them because it's trying to get an edge in the competitive business of mobile gaming and virtual technology. Like, for some reason, Microsoft thinks that this is going to put them in some better position for competing against Meta, formerly Facebook, with virtual gaming. As a gamer, virtual gaming is something that I haven't got into. I watch videos of people playing virtual games, and it's funny and sad all at the same time because people get hurt playing virtual games. So anyway, but here's the thing. Microsoft owns Xbox. And so this is where it can get tricky, right? So people have to wonder, what does this mean for PlayStation, for people who play Call of Duty on PlayStation? Because right now, you'll be fine. And first of all, this has to be approved. It has to go through all the final stages of approval before it actually becomes a deal. So we're looking at maybe April. But you have to think about Sony and the PlayStation, because one would feel like at some point PlayStation won't have Call of Duty. Microsoft says that there will be cross-platform Call of Duty, but Microsoft could be meaning Xbox and PC. And when I say you should be okay right now, that's because there's a current contract, obviously, for Sony to be able to have Call of Duty on PlayStation. But the thing is, if and when this merger takes place, to me, I feel like the Sony contract for Call of Duty doesn't get renewed when it runs out. And that, so, you know, this is starting to look and smell like, a monopoly of sorts. And so I don't know how comfortable I am with it. You can go either way with this because a lot of IT people like myself don't have a lot of good things to say about Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft does some things good, but a lot of us feel like most of the things that Microsoft buys eventually turn into garbage. You know, they purchased Skype, turned into garbage. They purchased Hotmail. They purchased Hotmail really to eliminate it because they just merged it into their mail universe. And so now it's basically like an option for an email domain in there. You know, you can either go hotmail.com, live.com, or outlook.com. So when you get a free account that comes with email, cloud email, you can pick it as one of those addresses. I remember when they bought Hotmail years ago, and I felt at the time, and I believe I was right, they just wanted to eliminate them as a competitor in the cloud email market space. And so back in a different lifetime of podcasting, when I had a different show behind the mic, we used to use Skype to do interviews and phone calls and even co-hosting duties with other people. And something was changed after Microsoft purchased Skype, and something changed with algorithms, and all of a sudden we couldn't use it anymore. Nothing would function right in the studios using Skype. It had something to do with the voice codecs and the algorithms, and Our producers couldn't get anything to function right. Other studio, like people just couldn't figure it out. And it was like, well, we just have to go a different route. And we did. Again, that for me, I would say that's a real world example of crap, of them taking something and for whatever reason they touch it and they break it. And now there's still a free Skype for, like the consumers who want it. And then, if you communicate only with other Skype people, it works pretty good. But basically, the Skype for Business, they turned that into their Teams platform. And so it just kind of got fizzled into another Microsoft product. Again, did they just want Skype out of the way so Skype was not a business end communication tool? Because I feel like you have bigger problems than that with Google, for one. Google has a huge system, the Google Meet platform. So, and that doesn't cost. There's so many limitations with a free Teams that you're almost, when you look at it side by side, you go Google for the Meet versus the free Teams. But anyway, so on the other side of this, you actually have there's a lot of people who are speaking out that work for Activision, programmers, that are optimistic about this sale going through. And because one of the positive things that you can say about Microsoft is Microsoft does take very good care of their programming teams. Okay? So I guess with all the stuff we've seen in the last year or so in the news about Activision and the way their culture in the company has gone down, the way they treat people, women in particular. So I think there's some optimism that the programming teams and maybe the employees will be treated better working under Microsoft. And the other thing, too, to look at as a positive is there is one thing that Microsoft did get their hands on that has actually, I've never played it, but is a huge game and has become even larger since Microsoft got their hands on it. Halo. Excuse the coughing. Halo has become huge. And so I am a Call of Duty fan. I play Call of Duty. So based on that, one of the things that we can look forward to, I think, is perhaps better crossplay. Maybe some of the other issues, the other bugs and issues getting worked out because Microsoft will probably empower the programmers to do better and have whatever they need to fix that, create it to be larger. And the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is finally, potentially, an anti-cheat that actually works. Something that they've never been able to get right, or at all, really, with Activision. Because even the anti-cheat that they came out with a few months ago, before it came out, got cracked before hitting the market by hackers. So, what good did that do you? Nothing. So, there could be good and bad to this. Could be good and bad. But one of the things that Microsoft is looking at is they really want to get into virtual reality gaming. And there's something about Activision Blizzard, and I think because they've already started going into that market, and they will be able to grab that opportunity, swallow it up into theirs, and give them better competition against Facebook Meta, which apparently, I didn't even know this, because when I think of gaming, I don't think of Facebook at all. But they're focusing a lot of dollars and a lot of energy in that direction. So that's what's going on. Now, another thing I've heard in the scuttlebutt around the internet about this is, back to Sony now for a minute. If Sony loses their contract for Call of Duty when it expires, gamers and gaming programmers go, what will Sony do? Because that could potentially hurt Sony. But a lot of people think that Sony can take that opportunity to go back and focus all their energy on SOCOM, which is a Navy SEALs game. It's a first-person shooter. Used to be a fairly decent game. And I think it's just when Call of Duty started coming out, like every year we were getting a new Call of Duty, which is ridiculous, but that's a different story. But SOCOM started falling by the wayside. And this could be an opportunity for Sony to possibly do something with SOCOM and give them something to fight back against Microsoft and Xbox with the PlayStation. Because right now, Sony is in that top 3 or 4 top gaming companies, and they'll probably hold that position. If that contract runs out for Call of Duty, I think they're going to drop far below. And if they want to, I just feel like I agree with what I'm hearing around the internet. If they want to stay relevant, they got to do something, and SOCOM may be the direction to go. Grab that game, pump it up, bring it back up on top, so you can get up on top, or stay up there in the top in competition with Microsoft, with Meta, with Nintendo. Because some of this just kind of looks like that monopoly thing that a lot of people have problems with, when one company just starts swallowing up others and makes a monopoly. And then that's also mean that this could also mean that the game price is going to spike. I mean, listen, Call of Duty is expensive as it is. Almost anything you get for the Xbox or the PC is expensive. So where does that leave us? And if Microsoft makes improvements that we've been wanting for Call of Duty, including an anti-cheat, what's that going to cost us? How much back to the consumer is that going to cost us? Interesting question. So if you look at it this way, the acquisition, if it goes through, will push Microsoft past Nintendo, and Microsoft will become the 3rd largest video game company by revenue just globally. And that's right behind Sony and Tencent, which is the Chinese tech giant. So this deal is the aggressiveness that Microsoft needs to plant itself up there. So we have to wait and see how that all plays out. But it could have a huge impact on the gaming community as far as a couple of the big games that Activision Blizzard handles, biggest being Call of Duty. And there's a Call of Duty due out again soon, and I didn't even get the last one, Vanguard. There's no way I was spending money for another game where it didn't have an anti-cheat. I play other games where as you're going into the game, and I don't understand why Activision wouldn't do this, as you're going into the game, when you're logging into the game, you're passing through and through an anti-cheat. It's part of the logging onto the game process. Why this seems like to me it seems like a no-brainer, but maybe I don't know. And when it came to Vanguard coming out so soon after Cold War, there was no way they were getting, and they were going back to World War II. I didn't care. As much as I like World War II first-person shooters, I did not care about this one having that. No way. So I did not buy into it. And I'm happy that I didn't. So if this goes through and Microsoft figures that out, okay, maybe I look into the next one. But I have no idea. And if they do figure out the anti-cheat thing, I hope they go back and put it on the previous 2 or 3, which a lot of us are still playing. But anyway, so I digress. So that's the big news in gaming tech this week. And I just wanted to share my thoughts here. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the program. I want to thank everybody for listening to us. And I want to remind you that you can stop by www.jmtalk.net, download the show, subscribe to it. We're available on all the podcasting places out there. Visit us on social media on, It's TikTok and Facebook at JM Talk, Instagram and Twitter at JM Talk Radio. I got to get back into this rhythm for 2022. Send us an email if you want, joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. So be good to one another, stay healthy, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.